Hey guys. Last weekend we had prom dress rugby, which was so much fun. Even though we lost, it was just really great. Like, the top layer of my dress got ripped off, and actually, you can see it right here. And then I got to see Chief, which was so much fun because we all went to Cafe Rio and had Cafe Rio, which it's been like the first time I had Mexican food in a month, so that was really cool. And then afterwards, I went to a party with Rob Dog, and Chief was there for a little bit. But the funny part of the story is I actually wound up playing water pong with Jesse and Robin and one of Jesse's friends. So they beat us, by the way, quite soundly. I'm terrible at water pong. What can you do? But more interesting than that is what happened last night. Yikes. Sorry. I have a wound, and I have a lot of wounds, but one in particular looks very bad. So anyway, last night, the story starts, the setting is 6:20-ish on Thursday afternoon, and I'm just hanging out in my dorm, and Allison is in here with, one of her friends whose name is Evan, but not an Evan that you will hear about later. So we're hanging out in here, and I'm like, oh, it's 6:20, like, I need to start getting ready. So I start getting ready, and I'm like, putting on makeup, and Allison looks over, and she's like, Grace, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm putting on makeup. She's like, oh, who are you, meeting up with later? And I was like, Austin. And so she was like, yeah, that's what I thought. So I got a lot of sass from her and Evan, and then I had to change still, so I looked over it, and I was like, hey, do you mind, can you step out for, a minute or two so I can change? And this kid, doesn't leave. So Alice looks at me, she's like, hey, are you gonna go? And he's like, oh, I thought she was talking to you. And I was like, alright, smart ass. So that was kind of funny. And then he went outside. We have, these flowers in our dorm, in our hallway, and he just walked outside and started watering these flowers, why not? I don't know where she finds these people, but more on that later. So, then I went out with Austin, and, it was good. So that was fine. And then later, so we were walking back to campus, and we watched a movie in Weaver, which is where he lives, and then we came back to Thomas, which is where I live. And so we walked all the way up the stairs, and there's a freaking lay on my door, which is a kind of our symbol for there's a guest in the room, please do not disturb. So I was like, are you kidding me right now? Allison, there's something suspicious going on. So of course, check my phone, and Allison has texted me, hey, it's a joke, some of the guys thought it'd be funny, but not actually. So, and I was like, oh, well, she probably has one or two people over. Walk in the door, here is Allison and 10 guys, and they're spread out all over the freaking floor playing D&D. How? I don't know, but it was, I couldn't get to the fridge, and I needed to put my leftovers away, and Austin was there, and it was just, it was a weird situation, but you know what? It's, what do you even do when they're playing Dungeons & Dragons all over your floor, and you're just a little confused? So after that, we walked back, and, I was like, well, I thought we were gonna hang out in my room, but clearly that's not the case. And so my friends were out doing the scavenger hunt, and I knew one of my friends who had hit it for them was hanging out in Elm, which is a totally different dorm. So I was like, I'll just call Anna and see what she's if she can let me into Elm and I can hang out with them, because I didn't really want to. I wanted to hang out with my friends instead of Austin. That sounds terrible. God, that sounds so terrible. So I call her, and this voice answers, and at first, I was not confused about it. At first, I was like, hey, can you let me in? But this voice was like, oh, yes, Anna, you want to come in? We're just waiting for everyone to get back from the scavenger hunt tonight. And I was like, this isn't Anna, is it? And the person was like, what? And I was like, it's not Anna. Who is this? And so he's like, who do you think? And I was like, well, at first I thought it was Chloe, because I was like, that's the kind of shit Chloe would pull. But it was not Chloe. It was this guy, Evan, who had been talking to me like he was Anna, and just confused the hell out of me. But, so say goodbye to Austin and went over to Elm, and I have to be let into Elm. Sorry, this video is gonna be long again. So I go into Elm, and they're waiting outside of me for the doors, and Anna and Evan are there, who are like two pretty good friends of mine. And so we're like walking up to their room, and Evan was like, I'm kind of sorry about that. And I was like, yeah, like, why did you think that was a good idea? And Anna was like, he asked me, and I said yes, and I was like, you two are just, last week, we ate lunch together, and I freaking love ketchup with my fries and my, veggie, or my grilled cheese, whatever. So, sometimes at Diggerton, they freaking run out of ketchup, which is just, why? So, I saw them, like, replace the ketchup thing, and I was like, oh, yes, it's happening. Somebody else told the people to replace the ketchup thing, and I didn't have to. So, they replaced the ketchup thing. And Anna and Evan are like, oh, don't worry, Grace, we'll get you some ketchup. I'm like, dope, thank you, that is so nice. And they go, and they bring back this thing. And at first I was not suspicious. I was like, oh, cool, like, whatever, this dark red stuff, like, probably ketchup, I trust them. But then I, like, looked at it a little closer, and I was like, this is not ketchup. Those bitches got me freaking barbecue sauce, which I hate. And so, yeah, I got a little bit mad at Anna and Evan. Probably more than I should have, but you should not mess with ketchup. So then, anyway, back to the original story. So we're walking up to her room, and I was, like, talking to Anna. I was like, are they back yet, even? And so she's like, no. And I was like, oh, that's a little weird. So we get into this room, and there's, like, freaking 5 other people in Anna's room, and I was like, well, good. Like, I just wanted it to be, I was just so confused. So I go in there, and I'm just, like, hanging out, talking to this girl, Megan, and Evan starts throwing me some shade, and then a couple other guys started throwing me some shade, so I had to throw shade right freaking back, which was not really how I want to live my life. But, like, one of the things Evan said to me, we're gonna race on Monday in PA, which is our PE class, and so one of the things Evan said to me was, like, hey, Grace, how was your date? And I was like, it was fine. And he's like, good, you need a little happiness before I kick your ass on Monday. And I was like, alright, take it easy, you little snarky jerk. I didn't have a good comeback for that. What do you even say? Like, you need a little happiness. I don't even know. So, that was really... So that happened. And then finally, they all went to Diggerton. So it was just really quiet and chill in that room for a little while, which was ideal. And that was really nice. But then everybody else got back, and we hung out, and then we talked about just, like, I don't know, random stuff, because we're in college, and what else do you do with your time besides talk about random stuff? And then eventually, we finally made it back to our dorm, but I can't sleep in my room because Allison is watching Game of Thrones with 2 other guys, and they're just like, I could have slept in there, but, like, I don't want to fall asleep to the sound of, like, murder and, like, sexual relations. No. That's not the dream. So, we pulled this mattress out of one of the girls' rooms, and they laid it on Maddie and Catherine's floor, and so I slept underneath Maddie's bed. And I woke up this morning very confused, because, how are you not confused? I woke up, and Maddie's alarm had gone off, and I was like, what time is it? Like, what time is it? Do I have class today? And I was like, wait, where am I? It was... I mean, it's a good thing I had not been drinking the night before, because I would have probably lost it. So, anyway, that was my social activities for the week. School is not that exciting or that pleasant, but I'm getting through it. Rugby was super fun today. I have some gnarly cuts. Oh, I'm really sorry this is so long. I thought Anna was my friend, sort of, but I walked into her room and she freaking calls me Miss Grace, and I was like, you traitor, you traitor. Not that I don't like that name, but, like, the lunch lady calls me that sometimes. She's like, oh, Miss Grace, I love that name, and she's told me that, like, 4 times this year, so, good. Alright, I'm sorry. yeah, I will hopefully see all of you guys really soon. Hopefully, I haven't seen Kibo in a long time, and hopefully I get to play her in rugby, which is just gonna be, just gonna be great. Alright, bye!